Here are the three best props to bet on for the Week 14 Thursday night game between the Cowboys and Lions, presented by Sharpstack. The first prop is David Montgomery under 33.5 rushing yards. Now, Monty has only eclipsed 34 rushing yards in 5 out of 12 games this year, and for the most part, he's been predictable in terms of when he won't have a good game. It generally comes against really good run defenses and extra bonus points if the Lions are not in multi-score leads and just running all game. If they have to throw more, that means Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be out there, not David Montgomery. I do not expect the Lions to be winning all game and running the ball with David Montgomery tonight, especially now that the Cowboys' rush defenses is one of the best in the entire league. Since training for Quinnen Williams, they have allowed 39 rushing yards per game to opposing running backs over the last 3 weeks. You heard me right. 39 rushing yards per game. That includes matchups against Saquon Barkley and Ashton Genty, who combined for 29 rushing yards against this Dallas Cowboys run defense. I was tempted to take Gibbs' rushing under as well, but I don't want to bet against a player like him. It only takes one play and that under is screwed. So instead, bet against David Montgomery, who will probably see limited carries due to game script and can easily be shut down by this Cowboys defensive front. Now, the second prop is a 2-play parlay, which is Dak Prescott 240 plus yards and 2+ touchdowns. Now, Dak has been on an absolute heater for pretty much 2 months now, eclipsing 240 yards in 7 of his last 9 and throwing for at least 2 touchdowns in 7 of his last 9, and usually they happen simultaneously. Now, this is a game in Detroit where the Cowboys are 3-point underdogs in a dome, so there's no weather involved, and we have a 54.5 over-under. So this should be an amazing game and super fun all the way around. But I actually like Dallas to cover or maybe even win this game, and they're going to have to do that on the back of Dak Prescott, just like how they beat Kansas City and Philadelphia over the last 2 weeks. Detroit is also down safety Kirby Joseph and cornerback Terrion Arnold, so for a defense that already gives up a lot of passing production already this year, to then be missing those 2 key starters, that just makes things a little bit easier for Dak Prescott and company. Now, before I say the last prop, I wanted to tell y'all that I'm getting these plays from the Sharpstack tool on 4for4.com, which shows you the best props to bet on with their EV tool across the NFL, college football, MLB, NBA, and more. Sign up today for a 7-day free trial using the link in the description with code BET for 25% off. And our last play is another 2-leg parlay of CeeDee Lamb 70 plus yards and George Pickens 70 plus yards. So speaking of the and company part of Dak Prescott and company, I like both of Dak's main receivers to eclipse 70 yards as well. If Dak is going to go over 240 yards as we expect, or even over his regular prop of almost 270, then I expect both CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens to be heavily involved. Lamb has been over 70 yards in all but one of his fully healthy games this year, and Pickens hasn't been under 70 since the beginning of October. So they're both doing it simultaneously pretty much week in and week out. Neither is the wide receiver 2 in this offense. They are both wide receiver 1s. Detroit plays a lot of man defense as well, and Lamb and Pickens scorch man coverage. Plus, as I already mentioned, with Kirby Joseph and Terrion Arnold out, in a dome with 0 weather involved in a high over-under, this should be a very fun game with production all over the place, so give me all of the overs for the Dallas passing game.